Joining us, Nevada Secretary of State Francisco Aguilar. He's also the chair of the Democratic Association of Secretaries of State. Secretary Aguilar, thank you so much for joining us. So first up, on these accusations of non-citizens voting in particular, you sent a letter to DHS Secretary Mullen asking about what basis they have for any of their recent claims that nearly 16,000 non-citizens could be registered to vote in Nevada. What information are you asking for? What's your response to these claims from the administration?
First of all, we're asking for basic information. We just want to know the methodology of how they came to the conclusion of this number. We want to see the data. Again, this administration has failed on so many levels to deliver for the American people. And they're trying to distract the American people to these issues that people are tired of hearing about. These issues have been, as you mentioned, these issues have been litigated over 70 times in the courts. They've been litigated in the court of public opinion, but they continue to go back to them because they're trying to distract from their failed decisions to drive America forward.
And just to be clear, the president and his administration have lost repeatedly in court when they've been trying to get information from states, be it your voter rolls, so they can screen it through a federal database and try to figure out if any of the people registered are non-citizens. They've also lost in a number of other areas as they try to get more control over elections. But is winning even the point here? What is the effect of all of their attempts to try to gain more control over state elections?
Well, secretaries are on the front lines of these issues. We are continuing to push back. We are winning litigation. And I'll speak in terms of the president speaks. It's about winners and losers. And the secretaries are winners in this situation. We are winning the courts. I think the litigation over the disclosure of voter rolls and the private information, we're at 16-0. That's a good record to have, and I'll take that record any single day. On the other litigation over the executive orders, we continue to win. We won a recent appeal, which is now appealing to the Supreme Court. But again, we are on the right side of the law. We will continue to be on the right side of the law. But when they start to talk about these issues, what they're doing is instilling fear. 26 is a critical election to 2028 presidential election. A reason why it's so critical is because when Secretary of States are going to be elected to their positions to administer the 28 presidential. And right now, it's hard to get America's attention to focus on the importance of Secretaries of State. We need support. We need resources to win these battles because we are not running against the MAGA focused candidates in our local states. We're running against this administration, and we need the resources to be able to push back.
I think states are actually 18-0 by our count in terms of not handing over that voter data. But Secretary, one of the fears that I keep hearing from other election officials is if the chain of custody is broken when it comes to ballots, if somehow federal agents come in, they get a judicial warrant and are able to take these ballots or tabulation machines before there's any kind of certification. How are you prepared to respond to that?
There's a multiple approach. One is making sure that the counties understand what they need to do when a federal agent shows up at a polling location or election center. That is critical, is making sure that they respond in a calm, collective way so that we can be orderly in our response. The second is immediate legal action. I call this our Mad Libs of legal filings. We have the legal pleadings ready to go. We just need the plaintiff and the defendant and the jurisdiction in which we are going to file. We have to be prepared for when this occurs. We can't take it for granted that things are going to go well. As secretaries of state and local elections officials, we are crisis managers. We have to be prepared every single moment of the day to deal with the unknown. This administration has no guardrails. They are off the rails, and they continue to push down their threats and intimidation. But again, secretaries are some of the strongest people in this country. We are on the front lines of this. I talk about Adrian Fontes in Arizona. He served 20 years, or he served in the Marines. My elections deputy here in Nevada served 20 years in the Marines. These individuals are ready to do what they need to do to protect the citizens in their states, to fight back, to push back, and to ensure that voters have access to the ballot box. And that's where voters can express their opinions about this failed leadership of this administration. America wants leaders. They want people who are going to give them a plan forward, but we need to stand up first and make sure that access remains available.
Secretary, I don't have much time left, but with the little time that I have, one of the election officials I was just talking to before we got on air, a Republican top election official, is worried that where this is ultimately headed is towards violence, given how much Trump is sowing doubt about the elections and trust in the elections. Are you concerned at all? Do you think that there could be violence?
Well, given my job as Secretary of State and every secretary around this country, it's our job to work with elected officials throughout our state, whether or not they're Democrats or Republicans. We have to build a coalition to stand up for our state. The Constitution is clear that states run elections. I am working constantly with our top state officials, both law enforcement, but also at the local level, working with our law enforcement at the local level, the local sheriffs, to understand it's our duty to protect our citizens, to protect our state, but also to protect our access to the ballot box. We are ready for whatever it comes at us. We will be prepared, and we will respond with leadership and pragmatic responses.
Nevada Secretary of State Cisco Aguilar, thank you for your time.
Thank you.